People think life in the US is full of bed of roses, but it is not that way. Me and my friend from Dubai, we both came here to US and we got a very small house, very small house, where in addition to the classes that I was attending, I had to find a job to sustain my living there. First job I got was in a pizza shop. Struggle really started after the graduation. All my friends got a job. I was jobless. I said within 15-20 days I was about to leave India. I got my visa. You are being self-dependent. You learn cooking. You manage yourself. You learn to do laundry. You learn to do everything on your own.
You learn about life.
2013, right after my wedding, my dad goes sick. Within 45 days in 2014, he passed away. So I was sitting in my terrace, right? Really didn't know what to do. I don't know what was happening. My dad's body was there and I was sitting here. It was like a dream, right? I don't know what was happening. I have to make a decision now. Dad just gave me a word, don't let our efforts go to waste. That guilt of not taking up this business will kill you. Here is where my whole life changes here, right? It was a very difficult decision because I just got married to a girl who believed I will take her to US.
Yeah.
I remember you once told me that your current employee once dropped you at school.
Yes.
How was the culture shock when you come back from there?
Gossiping, backbiting. From working with people across different countries and different cultures to come back here and work with farmers was very difficult. In 2018, we launched in Amazon. My concept was selling at the lowest price. Months went, days went. I was like, why am I not getting any revenue from Amazon? And then I went to the payment section and the accounts page. I understood, okay, I'm running in loss.
Do you feel the food tech buzz is big enough?
People think, especially after COVID, food is the best industry to work with. Food has its own complications. Opening shawarma stores and pani puri stores is not what food industry needs right now. Like I have a farmer who has 60 acres of sugarcane. My son is in Bangalore. It's not ready to come back. I don't know what I'll do with this farm. My plea is, at least people, their family members should not leave up agriculture.
What sort of chemicals do they use in processed sugar?
Sodium hydrosulfide is one. They use sulfonide is one to get that color. They use some kind of a bleaching agent to get that white color. So it's really a poison.
Is the chemical processing of white sugar being done to extend the life, or why is that difference? Why can't we just use
Jaggery? Today we sit down with a guest who has a diverse background of studying and working in a high-profile job in the US to coming back and taking over a third-generation family business in India and working with the farmers. Entrepreneurship is not easy. There is a general perception that running a second or a third-generation business should be easy. But today we touch upon a lot of topics that will make you question this notion. Welcome to another episode of Master's Edge. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. This is Vignesh, partner and co-founder of two different companies, CNV Engineering and Western Industrial Solutions. Our first company, CNV Engineering, is into the sourcing and supply chain of engineering components, and our second company, Vesta Industrial Solutions, is into the B2B sales and marketing consulting. Both the companies are based out of Coimbatore City, India. If you are interested and would like to know more about what we do, I'll leave the links to our website below. Over the past decade, we have had the pleasure of interacting with diverse range of professionals across various domains. This podcast is our way of sharing this knowledge with the world. Today's guest is Mr. Kader Arafath, Managing Director of Relish Jaggery. They are into the manufacturing and wholesale supplies of Jaggery and allied products across India, and they export to other countries as well. They are the number 2 ranked product in Amazon India for this particular category, and they have been in the business for more than 40 years. In this episode, me and my business partner Sibi sat down with Mr. Kader and discussed a lot of topics, including his journey, his early education, his experience of working in the manufacturing segment in US, and so on in the first segment. In the second segment, we discussed topics like circumstances that made him come back and take over his grandfather's business, how Jaggery is made, how food supply chain works, the importance of farmers, agri ecosystem, and much more. We hope that you really get as much value as we got during our interaction with our guest. Before we start, please consider subscribing as it motivates us to bring more guests from diverse backgrounds. This episode is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube Music, the links of which I'll leave in the description. Please switch to 1.5x speed for better viewing experience. Let's get started.
Kader sir, good evening. Welcome to the show. I'm really glad you accepted our invite and you're here today. I wanted to start off this podcast because I was really looking forward to this conversation actually, because I know you are from a very diverse professional background, and we usually have a thing in the podcast where we ask our guests itself we give an introduction. Apart from that, we ask our guests to give an introduction about themselves so that they cover their journey from their own viewpoint. So it would be great if you could touch upon where you started, how you started, what you're doing now. We'd like to hear about that.
Good evening to viewers, and good evening to CB and Vicky. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. It's my first podcast, and it's a pleasure sitting in front of you and to share my experiences, stories, and some learnings that I can give to you in my own experience. As you said, I have a very diverse background, and I think there will be some good information and some good points that I can throw across to the audience. My name is Kader Arafath, and I'm the founder of Relish Jaggery. Basically, I have a mechanical engineering background. I'm a mechanical engineering graduate from Bich Pilani, Dubai. It's basically a campus of Bich Pilani, and I have a master's in product development engineering from University of Southern California in Los Angeles, California. Later on, you'll get to know why, what is the reason behind this mechanical engineering. But Destiny had different plans, and I had to come back to India and take over my family business, which has been there for like 3 decades, more than 4, nearly 4 decades. So
you're the third generation, right?
Yeah, kind of 4th generation, I would say, but yeah, technically 3rd generation. But yeah. But this company, we have been running this company for almost 4 years. We are the leading suppliers of manufacturers and suppliers of Jaggery products in and around Coimbatore. Not only that, we export quite a lot of Jaggery to other countries, especially to Middle East and Southeast Asia. The UAE, Qatar, and Malaysia, Singapore are main destinations.
You also have some big names as your customers, right? In India.
Yes.
Reliance.
We do supply to in bulk and to customers like Reliance, Avon Chips, Lulu, to name a few, and quite a few exporters. And but our major portion of business is in Kerala. We have some big names in Kerala, where Kerala people will know, like Malayal Foods, Supernova Foods. So these are like some of big customers in Kerala. So with our our experiences, we have been in this field for like 40 years. And this is the bread and butter for us for like almost 40 years. The whole family background is in farming, and then we manufacture Jaggery. And now, in addition to manufacturing, we are also trading Jaggery in bulk, and as well as I have a brand name Relish Jaggery, where we have multiple products based in Jaggery, which we ship across the country. We have a distribution network in Tamil Nadu, and we are trying to expand it across the country. And we have it in our e-commerce website as well, and it's available in Amazon as well. We are the number 2 ranked product in the most wished category of Jaggery in Amazon.
Right.
So, like you get lists every month, in the beginning of every month, how you get the grocery list, like our ladies in the family prepare. In that way, every month, Relish is a definite product in many households across India. So, and that adds a lot of credibility because of the quality, consistent quality that we provide to the customers across India.
So coming back to your beginning of your career, you told us that you're a 3rd generation entrepreneur technically, and your family has already been in the business of Jaggery. So what triggered you to become a mechanical engineer, and how did you go to Bich Pilani, Dubai? Out of so many colleges in Coimbatore and in India. What was your journey? What landed you? How did you land yourself in Dubai, Bich Pilani, and your professional journey until you came back to India? Shall we cover something? Please tell us more about.
Before that, I really was when we first met. I really was surprised about your first half of your journey. So let us take it in 2 parts. Okay, first half of your journey is what really excited me. Please cover that first half of your journey in detail.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey actually. I was a topper in school, right? I was based in Coimbatore. I did my schooling in SBOA, And I got really good marks of 96.2% of 1154. That's my score in 12th standard. So I had centum in chemistry that I'm still proud of. With that, I know we used to have this professional, what do you call it, as the entrance examination for engineering, TNPSC, Tamil Nadu Professional Entrance Examination for getting into all these engineering colleges and medical colleges. So this is a thing. I mean, Dad really wanted me to become a doctor because I was good in studies. Okay, but then I was not into medical. I was not keen on becoming a doctor. Somehow I was. I mean, even though I was good in biology, chemistry, but I didn't have that passion to become a doctor. I always wanted to become an engineer because of the background I come from, because of the city that we live in, right? Coimbatore is an industrial city. I've always dreamt of becoming, an industrial entrepreneur. I always wanted to start up a factory or a company, engineering company in Coimbatore, because I've had the chances of meeting a couple of people, and I got mesmerized by them, how they are dealing with.
I think it is a unique charm of Coimbatore.
Exactly. Everybody from Coimbatore wants to become an entrepreneur.
True.
Right? Almost 60% of the Coimbatorians, like they really can't work under somebody, I feel. Because I've seen it across the globe. Everybody wants to become an entrepreneur.
If you're from here, yeah.
That's maybe it's in the Sirvani water that we drink. So I always wanted to become an engineer, but my dad wanted me to become a doctor. I used to give plenty of entrance examinations. My dad used to write, fill up forms and keep it, and I used to sign and just go and write entrance examinations for all these medical colleges. I've given entrance examinations at AFMC, Armed Forces Medical College, Cochin, Amrita Medical College, Cochin. I went to Chennai. I've given multiple entrance examinations, which I was not keen on. But I was something which I really worked on is something to get into IITs and clear all these JE examinations. I was very, very, very serious.
The competitive exams.
Yeah, competitive, very serious. So I almost cracked PSG, which was my dream college to get in. I always wanted to do mechanical engineering in PSG because my seniors from school, they always had this, saying that, PSG Mechanical College Engineering is like the 7th best in the world. That time, I don't know what is the rating right now, but still, PSG Mechanical has its own name. So I always wanted to do mechanical engineering from PSG, which we tried, we couldn't get through. I think I missed by a margin. Yeah. How things go when you go for admission, then the next management things come in, right? But we applied to BITS Pilani as well. They gave me an option of choosing up two options. You can either choose mechanical engineering from BITS Pilani, Goa, or you can take up the mechanical engineering from BITS Pilani, Dubai. So my dad was like, instead of spending that amount of money here in Coimbatore, at least you go to Dubai, you get an international exposure. My family is a little well off, little blessed with all these things, so we were okay. Even though I went on an educational loan, I went to BITS Pilani, Dubai, and I did my mechanical engineering in Dubai. That's how I went to Dubai. Dubai is a land of dreams. It's a beautiful place to be in.
This was which time period?
This was in 2004. 2004 to 2008, we did I did my mechanical engineering in BITS Pilani, Dubai, and we had some great professors in the universities because since it was even the Dubai campus was just starting up, we had professors from all the big universities of IITs and BITS itself, and from PSG, CIT. We had quite a few professors from Tamil Nadu as well.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful experience. Just not education. That entrepreneurial spirit was always there in me. I used to, me and my friend, his name is Madi. We used to go sell tickets. Right, we used to go sell. There's an event called Global Village that happens every Dubai shopping festival, and there's a place called Global Village where all the it's a big event that happens during December to February in Dubai. So we used to go sell tickets, not just normal tickets. It's like, it's a very difficult sales job because a normal ticket is 2 dirhams. It's a scratch and win card that you have to sell for 10 dirhams. And it's almost like a fooling job, but sales itself is a fooling job, right?
Yeah, true.
So it's a very difficult task to convince people to buy this. And that gave me a great perspective on what sales is. And I was I was still very keen on becoming an entrepreneur. That spirit was always there. But then I had, in the 4th year, we had our college placements, and I was the first person to get placed in that batch. I got placed in an oil and gas company in Abu Dhabi. The company is called Nama Mott MacDonald. It's an oil and gas consultancy firm. But in addition to the entrepreneurial spirit, I always wanted to do something more than engineering. I wanted to do a master's in some other country, like,
just for more exposure.
More exposure, more knowledge. So since I wanted to be a tech entrepreneur, I was very focused on technical details. So I chose up a course which is called as product development engineering. It is a combination of mechanical engineering and business background, MBA. It's a combination of MS and MBA. So it's a 2-year course for 4 semesters. For 2 semesters, you will learn engineering aspects like finite element analysis, thermodynamics, and all these things. Product design, product development, all these design software like SolidWorks and all these things. The next year, you will learn all these business aspects like, accountancy, engineering management, team management, and all these things. So it's a very good mixture of what I really wanted, and I got placed in the university called University of Southern California in Los Angeles. I already got my admission right after my engineering, but in 2008, but I didn't get the visa because I don't know, for some reason US didn't give me a visa. They put me on a security hold, which went on for like 10 months. So
okay,
that's a different
story,
a different story, which we don't want to delve in. But for 10 months, I was looking for a visa. I was waiting for a visa. So
nearly a year.
Yeah, almost a year. So I knew that my the people that I know, they have told me that there are chances that you might not get the visa, right?
Okay.
So always have a job in hand in the background, so that you don't, you're not idle, right? So
you were working in Abu Dhabi at
that
time.
Yes. Okay. I mean, all these things happen simultaneously. The job as well as my
you're waiting for the visa on one end, and
yes. So in the meanwhile, before even I got I applied for the visa, I went and joined the company.
Okay.
So I worked for like 10 months. I mean, not even nearly a year. I was a piping engineer in that company, Mott MacDonald. I was a stress piping engineer basically. So we used to deal with all these stress analysis and how pressure impacts all these oil and gas applications and in all these big rigs. So I worked for a company in Qatar. Even though I was based in Abu Dhabi, my client was in Qatar. So it's a very nice experience that I had. So once I got the visa after a long break, I said, okay, let's go. I mean, once you get into work, it's very difficult to stop and do the academic thing. So I said, okay, whatever it is, let's just stop it for a while. And I went to US, where I did my master's in product development engineering. And again, it was a struggle. It's even though it was, I mean, I had a very luxurious, very, very blessed life here. I didn't want to trouble my dad over there because already
you wanted to see what struggle was.
Exactly. Already a Dubai education and then coming to US. I didn't want to trouble my dad, except the tuition fees, right? Which we went for a loan again.
Okay.
So we didn't put any.
You wanted to take responsibility.
Exactly. I really wanted to take responsibility, and I cleared both the loans actually. When I went there, you would really need to. It was very difficult living in LA, right? Los Angeles is a very, very expensive city, right?
Okay.
For a bed space, that time, probably it was in 2009, it's almost 15 years back, it was $450 for a bed space. So that is crazy, actually. Yeah. $450 is a lot of money. Right now, I believe it will be like $700 easily. Yeah. So to earn that $450, me and my friend from Dubai, we both came here to US, and we got a very small house, very, very small house, where it's like this. You won't imagine. People think life in US is full of bed of roses, but it is not that way.
Even today?
I mean, if you're in a normal city where the cost of living is not high, you can have a decent life. But then if you go to big cities like, LA and New York, you need to have a lot of money to live there, which is not that easy.
Especially as a student, it
is very, very difficult. And how much ever you get money from back home, it is not enough. It is that kind, So $450 for a bed space, and then you have to take off internet charges, electricity charges. It easily comes up to $750, $800, and you have to bear for your food as well, right? Groceries and all these things. So after a long wait, in addition to the classes that I was attending, I had to find a job to sustain my living there. So I got a first job I got was in a pizza shop. Right?
Okay.
You might have heard stories, people saying that I worked in a restaurant in US.
Yeah.
So I really worked in a pizza shop in US, right? Where they gave me a meal ticket every day in addition to $8 an hour. I was allowed to work 20 hours a week, and I was getting paid $8 an hour. So that was a big amount at the time. So 160 into 4 is 640. So that almost, that made my...
You were able to manage.
Survive.
You were able to manage.
Yeah. So, and I used to get a meal ticket. So with that meal ticket, I can have that, I can have food anywhere within the university. Like there are multiple restaurants within the university. I can have anywhere within the university. So it's for free. So that is the first job I wanted because I wanted to eat, right? Food was the most important thing. So I was working there for almost 8 months in addition to the classes that we had. And in the second year, I had a good set of friends, everybody from Coimbatore, right? Everybody from CIT, PSG, KCT, all these people, and we all joined together. How life is. Once your buddies from Coimbatore join, it's life was going good, right? In the second year, and I was fortunate to get a job under a professor as a teaching assistant.
That's very famous.
Yes.
That option. Yeah.
Yes. Once you get a teaching assistant job, then your life is okay.
Yeah.
You will be able to
manage.
Yeah, you will be able to live even better. I was getting $20 an hour, so which was
fairly decent.
Which is very decent. But then I had enough amount of work as well because I had to really take classes. Because the professor that I was working in, he travels a lot.
Okay.
He's an Indian as well. So I was very lucky to get a job under him. His name is Arif Ansari. He's still working there. He's in the Marshall School of Business in USC. So he gave me a job saying, why don't you come and join me? So there was a vacancy and I was lucky to get that. So after that, I graduated, and the real struggle really started after the graduation because you're not allowed to work. You have 90 days to find a job.
Which, you
have this optional practical training, OPT period. So you have 90 days to find a job. So within the 90 days, I don't know how many interviews I would have given. Right, I have given multiple, I think hundreds of interviews to different companies. Some of the notable companies I gave it in John Deere, I gave in Caterpillar, I gave in Bobcat.
All the big OEMs.
All the big OEMs, right? Because of the and my oil and gas background also helped me a lot in at least getting through the interview round.
Because you had a year of experience.
Exactly. So I had multiple calls from companies from Texas. Well, then for some reason, I don't know, luck must favor you when you're searching for a job in US, not only US, anywhere in the world. So all my friends got a job and I was jobless. Right? I don't know what was going wrong. I was just jobless. I was giving some of the best interviews. I was preparing well. I don't know. But for some reason, I was not getting job. Right? I remember an instance where the interview with Caterpillar was one of the best interviews that I gave. Even the interviewer, the two interviewers, one is an American, one is an Indian. Right? Both were very impressed, and they almost said, okay, let's go to the next round. That is the response that they gave when they left the interview. But then the next day, within a couple of days, I receive an email saying, that you're not selected for this. I don't know. I went and asked them. I said, there are some things beyond what happens on the interview table. So for the youngsters here, you have to be, getting a job is like being at the right place at the right time. You don't know when that thing will come, but we have to be patient. You have to be very persistent, right? Especially I was in a different time zone. I was in California. I used to get calls from New York, which is like 3 hours ahead, right? I'll be probably sleeping here, probably 5:30 in the morning. They'll be working there. So the first thing, the HR comes in, he calls for interviews, right?
Right.
He calls at 8 o'clock in their time. I'll be sleeping, and I have given interviews in my sleep. So that is the amount of calls and interviews people go through after graduating in US. Here, at least, the college gives you a good, platform of bringing in companies. But when you go abroad, when you go outside India, it is not the case. You have to find your own living, right? You have to find your own job. You have to live your own living. So that experience is worthless, right? I mean, you cannot describe what kind of experience that really gives. You are being self-dependent. You learn cooking. You manage yourself. You learn to do laundry. You learn to do everything on your own.
You learn about life.
You learn about life. You really learn about life. I mean, when we say US, especially in a city like Los Angeles, people only know Hollywood, right? There's much beyond Hollywood. Like I was a Muslim, right? I had my own troubles.
Right. Got it.
I had my own troubles, and this my university was in downtown LA. There's always a question of safety there. Right? I used to every day at around 10 o'clock you could see LAPD, Los Angeles Police Department, with the helicopters and cars and the police cars going across the city chasing somebody. It's very common sight there. But you cannot explain that to people here because they'll get scared. So to get through all these things, you have to be very patient, and that gives you a lot of teaching experience. It's not that you don't get that teaching here, but then there is always a comfort of family here.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. You can fall back.
Yeah, you can always fall back. But then there, you've already traveled miles away to do something. There you cannot say, I'm coming back. Your process is done. You have to face it. So that's a different experience. So when almost on the verge of returning back to India, I had like probably 2 weeks. And that is when I convinced my family saying, see, I'm not destined probably, I'm giving my best. It's not happening. So I don't think I can do much better than this. So maybe I'm not destined to be here. My dad said, okay, just take it easy and come back. Because my dad always kept telling me, give best that you can. If that doesn't happen, then the Almighty might have something else for you. So that belief was always there. So I had like probably 15-20 days time when I had this... when I was almost getting ready to return back to India, I had this final call from Cummins. Okay. So I had the worst phone interview ever with that company, right? I came out and told my friends, okay, this is not happening. Because the mindset is over, right? You are already frustrated, already fed up.
You're on the verge of leaving.
You were decided that, I'm going back to India. You are in that mindset. And then whatever calls you get, you're like, you're not going to give your best. But as I said, God has different plans, and being in the right place at the right time. So when I had like a few days left, I didn't have place to live.
Oh,
okay. My lease with the house was over. I was already staying with the neighbor's house, and it was becoming very difficult. And I had my cousin there in Nashville. So I called her up and said, I don't have a place to live, right? So I need a place to live for the next 10-15 days. I gave an interview, else I would have left right now. Just for waiting for that interview, I need a place, can I come? She was like, she immediately booked my tickets. I didn't have money to book my ticket also. She immediately booked the tickets and I flew down to Nashville. So the best part was that company was based in Nashville. The position that they are looking for was in Nashville, right? So when I said
Coincidence.
that's called being at the right place at the right time, right? When I went to Nashville, when the interviewer called me, the first round of HR is over. The next, the technical interview is scheduled. After the interview, they said, where are you from? Where are you based in? Because we have to book flight tickets and all these things for you for the next round of interview. When I said, I'm here in Nashville, right? That company, immediately the technical person who was interviewing me connected the HR on that call and said, he's in Nashville, why don't you call for an interview day after tomorrow, right? Because they didn't have to book flight tickets, they didn't have to book book hotels, they don't have to book a car. That's the savings that they can look at.
Kismat.
That is called Kismat. Yeah. So in the next 2 days, I went, I gave an interview, and I had an interview for like 9 hours. Oh. You won't believe, 9 hours, right? Multiple people from different departments will come and interview you. They'll take you for a lunch interview. They'll take you for a tea interview.
You're being interviewed the entire day?
Entire day. From probably 11 to, I think, 6:37. Yeah. I was totally exhausted. But I knew I gave the best, and I was very confident of getting a job there, right? And mostly, I mean, more than my skills, the company looked at, this. They didn't have to spend those expenses.
Yeah.
That plays an important role in the management, right? The candidate is good. Why look for someone else? The next day I got an offer. Within 15-20 days, I was about to leave India. The day before my OPT expired, I got my visa. Not visa, the letter that you get for extending the stay here. So, and Cummins, I worked in the filtration department. It was based in Cookeville in Tennessee. It's like probably 100 miles away from Nashville. It's a very small town. I got that company. That filtration department was situated in Cookeville. It's 100 miles away from Nashville. That's the capital city of Tennessee. So it's a very, very small town with probably I didn't go now, but I heard it's very well developed right now. The only thing that they had was a Walmart and a few eatery joints. That's all. And the only thing that's famous for that in that city is the Cummins, right?
Okay.
Which is that small town. But then life was very good because I got a very decent pay, and the cost of living is much, much higher when compared to LA, right? For $450, $500, I lived in a bed space. Here you can rent a villa.
Oh, okay.
It's that difference.
The cost of living is lower.
It's much lower.
Yeah. Okay.
Lower in Cookeville, because a very small city, we're a small town.
It's like living in a village.
It is a village. It is a village. Yeah, probably you can compare it with towns like Solur.
Yeah. Got it. Understood.
I got in as a product engineer in the beginning. I was.
What was that division of Cummins doing? I mean,
filtration. They made all kinds of filters, oil filters, air filters, fuel filters, lube filters, exhaust, and all these emission components. All these
hardcore manufacturing.
Hardcore manufacturing. I was in the design department. I was a product engineer. My role. So there are two types of engineers. Basically, they had product development engineers and they had product engineers. Product development engineers are involved in new product development, and the product engineers are dealing with current product issues. So,
right.
Because the current product, something or other keeps coming up, right? It's a new learning every day. And the new product development engineering, I got an opportunity to be with a very very fantastic project. Actually, they were building up a huge engine, right? It's called as a Hedgehog. It is that engine it goes into a generator or it goes into a ship, right?
Okay.
Cummins are basically into generators, right? That
basically big engines.
Big. I mean, they do from small engines, but what I was doing is a heavy engineer.
But they're known for that heavy stuff.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
The durability is the best. I mean, our biggest competitor was Caterpillar, of course. So,
of course.
Caterpillar came up with a huge engine. So it was time to turn to Cummins to develop that technology and get into that mining market. Basically, it was into marine mining and big generators, right? The excavators, bulldozers, all these big mining excavators used
heavy industries,
very heavy industries, heavy machineries use their engines. I worked in the filtration department, right? Oh, you must have seen in the trucks, the filters are like this.
Yeah.
I worked on a filter this size. Right? It's probably to my hip. That's the size of the filter that I worked on. And it's a very fantastic experience. As I said, I started as a product development engineer. I was very fortunate to be working under a person from Coimbatore again. Okay.
Oh, Kismat.
So his name was Sam. He's from basically Ooty, but Ooty and Coimbatore.
Yeah.
And so he taught me. When I came in, he almost felt like, okay, he has a brother who can support him. That was the feeling that he had. And he taught me everything that the company needs. And within 4 to 5 months, immediately after I joined, he got a better position within the company. And he shifted to a different place. And the best thing that he told is, to the management that, Kader will be able to handle everything. So please give him the TL position. Yeah. Team project leader position. Yeah. Okay. Technical TPL, technical project lead position. And my project manager, he was like, Sam has given you the recommendation, so I'm just giving you. He pushed me in the ocean and asked me to swim. The only thing, that's the difference between probably here and the Western countries. You always have a backing. Yeah. Even though they push you in the ocean, they will. You can vouch on them that they are behind you.
There is a noose tied.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I was within a few months of joining the company, I was made to sit in those big customer meetings where you are bombarded with questions, and you don't have answers because you're just starting. But then your manager or you're the boss. Your boss always is on your back saying that I think probably we missed out on this. We'll get back to you on that. To tell that and support you. That is the culture, because I worked with companies in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, right, where it is. I'm not blaming the culture, but this is the culture difference that we'll
come to our culture at the end of maybe later part.
It's like mostly it's a blame game that I have faced in other companies that I worked, but here it is a supportive culture that I have faced. Right?
More of professional. They want you to learn. They want you to really excel. Right? There is no vengeance. There's no ego. Really, people no politics
want you to, irrespective of your race, color, religion. People really want you because they look at you as a team. Right? Like my boss, he became like my father there. Like he's like 60 plus. He was like my
fatherly
figure. He gave me all the support that I needed. Within a few months, I was able to take up the project in my hands. And the best part about working in such a multinational company, especially in US, is in a manufacturing setup. US really doesn't manufacture much, right? You must have, you might know, right? US really, for example, Apple does not manufacture, but their head offices in California.
I was supposed to come to this question actually. I was having this in mind. Now, in India, you have a lot of small manufacturers around. Sourcing any product is very easy in India. How is it in US? Let us say you want to source a small part for a development. Let us say you have a product development engineer, which you are telling. So let us say they want a part, a small component or something for a development part. Is it easy there, or how does it work there?
To be unique.
Unique in the sense?
You have to be unique. You have to be unique in what you do.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
If you are unique and if you are able to solve the problem that they are facing there is always scope over there. There is definitely a scope.
My question is, how easy is it to source such parts is what I'm asking you. Let us say you have new developments coming. Finding a vendor here for any manufacturing process is a cakewalk in India. Is it that easy in US, or how is the supply chain?
It is definitely... I wouldn't say it is not that easy, but you have to go through as here people there, the companies also look for local vendors, right?
Yeah.
There are also small manufacturing companies. It's not like completely it is assembled. There are for small components, for some of the components that that the company requires, they'll outsource locally, right?
But it is predominantly assembly driven and supply chain and all that.
For example, most of my products used to come from Mexico,
Okay.
China,
Okay.
right? Some products are sourced in US, right? For example, US is very famous for injection molding, plastic injection molding. That anybody can do it, right? It's not like
It's not that complex.
Yeah, they don't have to source it from Mexico or
China,
these other countries. For some complicated product designs, we did source from China. We did source from UK. We did source from India, right?
Okay.
So it is not like it is not possible. But as you said, you have to be you have to be something unique that it solves their purpose.
All right.
And of course, the cost comes in, right? I have taken quotes from companies in US for the same product. I have taken quotes from companies in South America as well, and companies across in Canada. And then we compare which is the best option, right? If the companies like here, if the companies feel that your product will solve the purpose, they'll definitely do it. For example, my friend, he's taking for products from Coimbatore to US for his applications, right?
Okay.
Maybe it's the cost, maybe it's the uniqueness, maybe it's the design. Something
Could be anything. Yeah.
could be anything, right? Something that is it is suiting them, that that fulfills their purpose, right? So vendor management is very same here. It's the quality, cost, delivery, timing, everything.
But I think the delivery lead times play a major role, right? Especially if you are predominantly sourcing.
Not necessarily. For example, if I need a part from China, I have to wait for 45 days.
Yeah. So
irrespective, if I know that I cannot source that part from US, I can source that part only from China, I'll have to wait for it.
no, so the planning and everything happens that way.
Oh, yeah. Project scheduling is the most important aspect of any corporate company in manufacturing.
Okay.
Project scheduling plays an important
And
role.
controlling that supply chain.
That is the role of that was my role, basically. It's not the technical aspects mainly. It is because from the product engineer, where I learned the intricacies of the product, technical intricacies, I was immediately promoted to the leadership position, the project leadership position, where I had an intern, I had a couple of guys. I mean, he's also from Chennai. So I had some. Luckily, I mean, that the chain happened to be from Tamil Nadu for me. So I gave that work that I was doing to him, and I went to the leadership position where I went. Most of my meetings, most of my work dealt with meetings and traveling, right? Visiting the customer's place and dealing with these complications in scheduling, right? You don't get what you expect always, right? And I had a very, very difficult customer to work with. So you know how difficult it is when you don't deliver on time and
As per the quality as well.
I was not very deep into technical aspects of the product. I mean, even though I know what should be done, it was my duty to ensure that the product fulfills the specifications it needs without affecting the quality. So I had an overview. I had to work with quality. I had to work with marketing, right from the stickers that goes across. I had to finalize
From scratch.
finalize on the boxes that the product goes in, everything, right? Yeah, so I had everything goes through me, right? And we had this review meetings, right, where we call it as M0, M1, M2, M5. Here in India, we call it as alpha, beta, something like that, I would say, right? Here, there they call it as in milestones. M stands for milestone. So M0 is a product launch, M1 is like the alpha, M2 is the beta, and M3 is that.
It's systemized like that.
Yeah, systemized. And you will have to, for every phase, every stage, you will have to present to your internal review team, which consists of all the directors from all the departments, quality, marketing, technical, risk, R&D, everybody, right? Once that approval is given, you go to the next level of presenting it to the customer and get their approval. Right?
Okay.
So I was working on that project. My project was called as Hedgehog. The most important application for that product was in Saudi. It went to oil and gas and mines, right? luckily, I mean, with God willing, everything went smooth. We had our own issues. Interesting part is working across different teams, across different countries, right? I had my design team in Pune, right? I had my testing team in China. I had my sourcing team from UK, right? So working
Quite a
across,
big supply chain, no?
yeah, working across time zones and working with the vendors as well as your team members from different cultures, countries. You'll have to understand, for example, if the Chinese New Year comes in, they'll be off for 10 days, right?
You have to pre-plan.
You have to plan accordingly, right? So every morning, I still remember my design team will be waiting for me. I go to my office at 7 a.m. and they will be waiting for me at 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m. here in India. So we'll have meetings accordingly. And our
meetings have to be very structured and crisp.
Yes.
So that
30 minutes
It doesn't waste anybody's
exactly. 30 minutes is what we have. Working across these different cultures will teach you a lot of things, right? I mean, we know how Indians are, but Chinese people are very, very, very. They're straight to the point.
Okay.
Right? They don't.
No wasting time.
No wasting time. They'll be straight to the point, and if it is not that way, it is not that way. There's no loopholes. There's no,
tiptoeing around. Yeah, nothing.
No sideways. It's all straight, right?
Right.
UK people are little, chilled,
Relaxed.
very chilled out guys. Sometimes they come up with issues where we'll have to tell them, and then they take time to get back.
Right.
So it is that kind of culture. So working with different people, and the most important team is working in Mexico. Mexicans are very, very chilled out.
Okay. So getting work from them, getting materials on time, considering the fact that you are sourcing from
most important material for my product comes from Mexico. So working with the vendors there and shipping across the border. Sometimes what happens, like here, it is cross-country border. Right? It comes through trucks. The truck gets stuck. In the borders, and you would have planned for on a schedule. You would have planned for a date. You miss the date. All these issues will kill you more than what technical issues comes in, right? Because some things are not in your control. In the engineering industries,
Right.
Really, some things are not in your control. So
A lot of variables.
I was successful in presenting all the products. I mean, all the reviews to till the customer review. I got a green signal. I got me and my friend Roma. I worked in fuel. She worked in lube filters. They are the most important part because it's like the esophagus, right? The filters are like the esophagus. If this part is not good, your whole body is stuck. So
Right.
filters play a very, very important role in the life cycle of an engine. And the fuel quality is very different from what here in India, what fuel quality, that quality is not even approved in US. That is the standard of the fuel that we go through, right? When I was working, there are different categories of fuel. So one of the categories Tier 4, that is what I worked in. So once I got the review, I planned for a vacation back to India. That was during Thanksgiving of 2013.
You were there in Cummins for how long, sir?
Almost 2.5 years.
From 2011 to 13.
2011 June to 2013 end. So
Continue the story. From here on, I think it gets more interesting.
So I planned my vacation to come back to India. Basically, I came to India for my wedding, right?
Okay.
So 2013 is what my wedding was fixed, and I planned my wedding also in such a way my wedding schedule as well as my project schedule worked parallelly. So I worked in such a way that the product goes for the field testing to Saudi, right? And during that break, I come for my
transit
vacation.
time was your wedding
time, right? I told my in-laws as well that I want to come for my wedding to spend time here in India, and I don't want to rush back in 10-15 days and go back. So we almost waited for a year after engagement to get for the wedding. So I came in November, and then the product was sent to Saudi for shipping. For testing. Here is where my whole life changes here, right? 2013, right after my wedding, my dad goes sick and I within 45 days in 2014 he passed away, right? And things just happened in a flash, right? 40 days is nothing.
But actually, you had come for your
wedding. Yeah, I mean, we had flight tickets booked back to India. I mean, back to US. Everything was supposed to happen Jan 5th. It's all holiday period. So I had a vacation for 21 days. In addition to what we get, the company doesn't work during Thanksgiving, Christmas holidays up to New Year. So I had like probably 45 days. I said, okay, I'll have a decent amount of time to spend time
family, get married,
and then get married and get back. But God had different plans, you know. My dad got sick and he passed away exactly on the day of Pongal on Jan 13th.
Okay.
Till then, you don't realize what was happening. I was working from here. I was working at nights from here.
He was unwell for some time? Or?
No. When
suddenly
he picked me up from Coimbatore airport, he was well, right? Suddenly,
that fast
within a span of 30 days, he passed away. So, so it's not in our hands, right? Something which it's right. Something had to bring me here from there, and then things had to happen. And in the meanwhile, I got the news. I got that email saying that okay, the product passed. The product passed the testing, and the engine is working beautifully. And the product, now what happens is from the technical team, the product goes to the marketing team and the sales team. So till then, it's my baby, right? It was literally my baby for 2 years. So it was like, my dad always kept, I was away for almost 10 years, right? And I always wanted to come back as well because I wanted to be an engineering entrepreneur in India.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad as well, he wanted me to come back. She said, okay.
I think so far in your career trajectory, it was moving towards that, right?
Yes.
Till this time.
Yes.
Till that time.
Exactly. He also wanted me to come back. But then I was telling him, let me finish my project. Okay. This is like the project that I developed, designed, developed. Now I have to push it to the market. That's the full satisfaction that I'll get. And
that you've done the entire.
Exactly. The product launch was in May, June. During that time frame. So I was telling, and I had my visa also expiring in November of that year, 2014. So if I have to continue, I have to renew, right? And then the other process starts, and when the company pushes you for green card and all these things happens.
It's a path.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a path.
But then as I told my dad, let me finish the project and come back. I also had the plans of returning anyways. 2013, when I once the dad passed away, I was really clueless on what to do. Didn't have an idea of whether I should go back or whether I should.
How old were you, sir?
I was 28.
Okay.
It was a very difficult decision because I just got married to a girl who believed I will take her to US.
Yeah.
Right. So many things were running in my mind, and I was. It
was a very confusing phase of.
But dad just gave me a word, he told me, just don't let our efforts go to waste.
Here. Family, business, all that.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's been running for 30 years and
people are employed.
Exactly. It is after my grandfather, it was my Peripa, that's my uncle and my dad who took care of the business. So both passed away in a span of 1 year.
Oh,
within a very short span, probably 1 year, 12 to 15 months. So we have a decent 10 to 15 people working in the office, a few people working in the company, and we have a set business which is running for like 40 years. So if I was not there, somebody has to take up, right? I always tell them, tell the people who run family businesses, if you're really keen on taking your business to the next level or continuing after you, because death is very uncertain.
True.
Right? I didn't know. We had zero clue of that my dad will pass away, right? So if the intention is to take the company
But up
run the
until
family
that point, you were never that involved in your...
nothing at all.
You don't know anything about
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
You know Jaggery is there, that's all.
That's all. Nothing at all. I had zero idea of what business is happening. I go once in a while to office, sit. I mean, I hardly come, probably 10, 15 days is what I can get to come here. And that time...
I think it was already 10 years since you left India, no? By the time you were 28. So you probably saw your business operating until you were 18.
I mean,
And then
until
it's-
18, you don't really know what's really happening. Yeah. And that is the time where your fathers really don't take you into business because they'll say your education is important and they
Finish your studies, we'll see.
See, you will be running from one tuition to the other tuitions, right? That was a culture we had.
True, yeah.
Not right now, but things have changed. True. But yeah, but that when we were there in 20 years back, we used to run from one tuition to
It
other.
was all of a sudden.
Yes. So
You the responsibility was thrust to you.
I always tell people who are my personal probably advice or a suggestion or a recommendation to people who run family business is if you really want your next generation to take up, plan it accordingly.
Succession planning.
Succession plan should be there so that it runs very smooth without any hiccups, right?
Yeah.
It should go above to what it's happening, or at least maintain that level of where we have been taking.
I've seen a lot of family businesses suffering because of the exact point that you mentioned now.
Yeah.
They don't plan that succession. Either the next generation is not that interested, or
In my case, I'll tell you what happens, right? In what happened. My business is a little stressful business. You have to be on your feet. I mean, every business is that way. But here it's a food product. It's a daily consumable product. You have to keep, on your, you have to keep your eyes open almost.
There's an expiry thing also.
Not only expiry, your
logistics.
and everything happens very quickly because it's a consumable product. You buy, the production happens, you sell it, and the next batch comes in. It goes in a cycle like that, right? You really don't have time. And my dad, he kept telling me, you should not face the amount of stress that we faced.
That is every parent's wish.
Right? But I would say that if you're really focusing on taking your business to the next generation, then push him.
Correct.
Take him. Like in the older days.
Right from scratch.
Push him in the business at the age of 15. Teach him whatever is needed at the age of 15. If you are really focusing on taking, if the business has to be taken by the next generation. If it's not the case, then it's fine. Yeah, then your education, all these things.
Correct.
And you have to educate them in such a way that, it aligns with what you do.
Eventually, they take over.
Exactly. It aligns with what your company or business does. But yeah, I mean, it was destined in my case that I had to go all these places and be away from my family, be away from my dad. The best time not the best time, the time I spent with him was the last 40 days. So it was a little emotional moment for me. So I had to take up the call, saying whether either you have to be employed or you take up something which is already running, right? And all the staffs, everybody in the business, farmers, vendors,
it's a huge
came to me and said, "This is a big organization, big business which has been running for a very long time. If for your sake you leave this, then all your efforts goes to waste. So all their efforts goes to waste.
So many people dependent on.
Exactly. It's not that they don't find any alternative, but then
what is going is
happening.
Yeah.
So I took up a call saying, that I'm taking up this business. Like mom was like, okay, it's up to you. If you're here, I'm happy. Don't expect me to come there. I'm not going to come. I have my family here. You are not here. The thing she told me is, you are not here for anyway 10 years. Right? It's not difficult for me.
You cannot expect me to come.
Exactly. Yeah. So and my thought was like, if I don't want to do the same mistake again, right? So I came over, took up the business, and in the meanwhile, I went back to US, right? I went back to US, finished all the formalities. I went for like 28 days, got all the things done. My product came back. It was a celebration of achieving the product, passing the product. Got some good recognitions from the customer. And from TPL to technical project leader, I got the promotion letter to be a project manager. I gave them a resignation letter saying that I'm quitting the job, right? So for 6 months, they did not give me relieving. My boss, his name is Jim Walls. He told me, yes, I know, I understand your concern, but do you really want to leave this life and go? I said, Jim, I need some time. I cannot take a decision right now. I'm not in a position to take the decision right now.
There was no choice.
I mean, he gave me a choice, saying that I will ensure that the company will not do anything with your file for 6 months.
That is on the company side. Here situation doesn't.
He gave me saying, go for 6 months. See if you can
take a sabbatical.
Yeah, see if you can manage it from here and run the business. It's not like he's saying close the business. See if you can manage it from here, right? And when I came here, entered the industry, it was like, okay, I felt I have to be there. Right? I really felt, okay, this is a lot of effort that has gone in to be in that level of, to be in that industry level of industry leaders, to have such an vast customer base. It's not easy to maintain that, right? If I go, somebody else is going to come, and then they're not going to have the same passion that I'm going to have. So I made a decision saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and that is how I from
mechanical engineer
Dubai to a Jaggery merchant taking over the family business. This is the story.
I mean, you told me your Jim was telling you that if you really want to lose this life, and how different is life there? If you are working, although you are an entrepreneur here, you are on your own here. This is comfortable or that was comfortable? You are still employed there.
See, comfortable. Comfort is very dependent, right? Subjective. The life was very peaceful. Not when I say peaceful, it's you don't have that much of stress, right?
Okay.
Like what we have here. Life was pretty chilled out, especially because I lived in a very, very small town. Right? Probably if I was living in LA or
small town, good company culture,
good
atmosphere.
Yeah. People were very friendly. People were like they were like family. So that's something that I always miss, right? You really don't have that much of stress, and even if you fail, they're always there to back you. Here, there's no backup. If you fail, you fail, right?
What did your wife say?
Well, yes. I'll tell you what exactly happened. So I was sitting in my terrace, right? Really didn't know what to do. After we had this third day rituals and all these things, that is when I come to my senses on thinking what to do.
This is real.
Yeah, this is real. Till then, I don't know what was happening. My dad's body was there, and I was sitting here. It was like a dream, right? I don't know what was happening. So after the third day rituals, I was like, I have to make a decision now, and I was very confused. Everybody was giving their own opinions.
Of course,
yeah. Company people here, they were saying, it's please come back, and please come back and take this over. We are there to support you, right? A group of family members is saying this business is very difficult. It is stressful. Don't take up. Go back to US. Right?
Enjoy life.
So all these things, different opinions, different perspectives. Some people are saying work for another 2 years, make a little bit more money, and there is some more land, and then come back. You will have some financial security here and all these things. So I had to make a decision. It's my decision anyways, right? So, and I had to make a call. That is when my wife came and said, see, don't worry about me, right? It's not that I married you because I didn't marry you because you were in US, right?
Good.
I married you because I really liked you, right? So, and then when we had a discussion, she said, even if you go and earn millions of dollars over there, right? If that guilt of not taking up this business will kill you, because you went to San Francisco, New York, Los Angeles,
eventually in the long
wherever you keep going, that thought will be there in your mind, that you didn't take up the business, which was the root of all your luxuries and comforts. So she gave me a clarity saying that, okay, this is what I have to do. Instead of, I might earn millions, right? Probably I will be in a very good position if I was in that, my colleague who was, I said about a person, right? She's working in a very good position in Apple. So in a similar way, I would have gone across positions, right? But then to do something that is close to you and which helped you, I don't think you should leave the roots, right? The roots are very important. And that, it is not something I'm going to start up. Correct. There is already a road laid down. It is something I had to just manage and control what was happening. And things were functioning. It's not like... So she gave me a clarity and I took up that path. So, and when I went and told my father-in-law about this, he was very happy. He was like, thank you. I thought my daughter was going to go far away.
He had his own concern.
Yeah, he had his own concern.
How was the culture shock when you come back from there?
It was very difficult.
What are the factors that made you shocked?
Gossiping, backbiting. Yeah, I was...
In the company?
In your own company. No, why not?
Okay.
About you.
Okay.
That must have come as a really shock to you.
Sure.
There nothing of that sort is there. Yeah.
Gossiping, backbiting is there anywhere in the world. But then there is a limit, right? That does not affect you, right? There are some things happen for fun.
Right? It doesn't cross a professional boundary.
Exactly.
Right?
You nailed the point. It doesn't cross the professional border. But here it was very difficult. What I was trying to tell you is, from working with people across different countries and different cultures, to come back here and work with farmers was very difficult. It was very difficult to please them because gaining the trust of the farmers was very difficult for me. They had the trust. They always had the thought, if will he be able to give the capable? Is he capable? Will he be able to give me the correct price? Will he be able to run this what we were doing?
Is he going to cheat me?
Everything was there. To get the trust of the customers took me a lot of time, probably 3-4 years.
I think here, in this sort of businesses, it's not only about the customers, right? You have to gain trust from it's two businesses. You have to manage your vendors also. You have to gain, and it's all about maintaining that.
Exactly. In fact, customers trust you easy. If you say you're a 30-40-year-old firm, I think gaining trust from customer is easier.
Customers trust your company, not you.
Okay.
That's what. What he meant was, as long as you are able to deliver as per the company's name,
yes,
it's a bit easier to gain customers' trust
because the customers believe that the only person that is replaced here is, instead of my dad, I'm here.
Correct.
The other people, other portions, other bodies are still there. So
dispatch is still happening.
Everything is still there, right? But then to get the trust of the farmers,
that is the most.
Vendors and farmers are very different. Vendors, if you put it in agriculture, in technical engineering terms, it's very different. But farmers is very different. Right? They are very emotional, right? We need to get attached to them. So to gain that trust, it took me a lot of time, right? I faced a lot of failures, did a lot of mistakes, and encountered a lot of losses, right? I think that is how you learn, because there's no
other option. Yeah,
there's nobody to teach you. You have to take a risk. Sometimes it profits you. Sometimes it results in loss.
I have a question here. It must have been a bit more stress on you, no? Because you already have a family legacy to take care of. If you are first generation, that stress is not there. You're failing.
See, for a second generation or a third generation family business,
am I right?
That even for a startup, that pressure won't be there.
Correct.
Yeah. Pressure of handling to sustaining that name is very, very important. That puts a lot of stress on you.
You already have your day-to-day grind.
Exactly.
Plus, you have to maintain the
exactly without affecting any without affecting any of your operations, without affecting your turnover, without affecting what your fathers were doing.
That legacy.
You have to maintain that legacy. That's, I think, for any next generation entrepreneur, that is the most difficult task till he sets in there.
I usually interact with a lot of first generation people. Many of them have this notion that it's easy as a second generation. It's actually not true. I've seen all spectrums. I've interacted with a lot of people like yourself, but that notion is wrong, I feel. Entrepreneurship as is hard, but
See, for a second generation entrepreneur, if you think that, everything is mine, then it goes off. You still have to believe that only the profit is yours.
correct.
Not everything is mine. Once that thought comes in, you will be on your ground, right? However the big the company is, you still have to believe only the profit is mine.
It's always the case.
It's always
I always tell my people that forget we are a 30 or 40-year-old company, right? Let's think that we are just starting up, right? And then we will proceed accordingly. The good thing is that we have a network, both supplier side and as well as the customer side.
So you took over your business in 2014 May or
2014 May approximately.
May approximately. And when did you start your own brand, Relish?
We started that in 2017.
2017. Okay.
We named in 2017. We started in March 2nd, 2018.
Okay. So until then, how was your business? You didn't have a brand as such, or what was happening?
what is the exact nature of? Explain about the Jaggery business, no? From Kader, who is just entering into the third generation business, I wanted to know what and all you saw.
No, what was happening?
What was happening?
What was the business model?
What was the business there? Was there a business model, or was it just the traditional route of buying and selling? What was the?
Actually, there was not exactly a business model as such, right? It was just a trading firm.
Okay. Buying and selling.
Yeah. The good thing my father's built is the huge network of farmers, right? Where if you come to Coimbatore and ask for Jaggery, most of the people will say, please go to that company, please go to that shop, they will help you, right? And the good thing for them is that we supplied pan-India that time, right?
Okay.
Especially after 2005, we supplied pan-India because there was no crops across India, and Tamil Nadu was the only place where there was enough agriculture happening, especially in sugarcane. So the business went to Madhya Pradesh, Baroda, Gujarat. Delhi.
Mandya is also very famous, no?
Mandya is very famous. Mandya is just booming up actually.
Yeah.
Tamil Nadu was the only place with.
It's even bigger now today, right?
It is much bigger now. It is much bigger. It's much bigger than what Tamil Nadu was.
Yeah.
It is equal to what Tamil Nadu was in 2005, 2006
okay.
that time. It is
Now it is there.
Now it is beautiful. The agriculture there in Mandya, Karnataka is wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's dying here?
It is dying here.
Okay.
It is slowly but steadily dying here. There are many factors. We'll go to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
We'll get to that next. So it was just a basic trading firm, but then there was trading in not small quantities, in bulk quantities, right? So there was enough on the table for them to look after, right? But then once I entered, it took me, I just, for 2 years, I was just observer, right? I started off like, how I will be from a small accountant to a small purchase guy to a small sales guy. I did everything, right?
Just to get the understanding. Ground
Just
understanding.
I went in car, right? I have a driver, I went in car. That's all the difference was. But then I wanted to learn everything.
The title was owner, but
I did everything. I went to auctions, I went to farmers, I met everybody. The only thing that I kept doing was I kept traveling for 2-3 years.
where there was guidance from your uncle also?
There was no uncle, right? Both of them passed.
Oh, both or the first. Oh, he passed away first.
Both of them.
Okay.
Literally, there was no one to guide. I had to believe what my company people told me.
I thought.
But I think that is where loyalty plays a role, no?
Exactly.
The loyalty that your
because
parents had.
the people that are working here with us, they're still here, or almost there for like 25-30 years now.
Yeah.
It's a good thing as well as it's a bad thing. But yeah, they taught me. I mean, they kept telling me, learn. We are there to back you. We'll see what happens.
Initial stages that would have been a way.
Yeah, because they knew the product knowledge. They knew where to sell.
They've been seeing that for so long.
So they knew where to sell, how the customer base works. I didn't. We didn't have system, right?
Yeah,
I used to write accounts in paper. I learned how to write accounts in paper, right? Literally.
So been very difficult, very different, no? Working in US.
Very, very
the organized company like Cummins.
Very different. Very, very different. There, I really didn't know how to write. I struggled writing.
So did you implement any systems from there over here? Did you try bringing something?
Off late, right?
Okay.
After because I didn't want to change anything abruptly. Because I didn't
People also would resist change.
Yeah, I want the change to be incremental, not radical. You come, you change everything. You don't know what will happen because you don't know anything about the field.
Correct.
So I just went with the flow, saying, let's take some time,
Inch by inch, step by step.
inch by inch. Then I created some systems. I created, sales teams, right? This is how it should work. You take care of this, you do that. I gave some responsibilities to people, and slowly but steadily, things started falling in place. People started trusting me. And 2016, there was a big drought here in Tamil Nadu. That is when the agriculture started declining in Tamil Nadu, right? Literally.
So till that time, the trading business was going, you were slowly getting into
Yes.
the weeds, understanding everything.
Yes.
Okay.
So 2016, once the drought came in, there's literally no sugarcane here. Sugarcane was very scarce, and many farmers, they said they were not able to run the agriculture because a lot of climate plays a main role there. Lack of water. We'll touch on that in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
But with the drought, the agriculture started declining very rapidly, and it was like we need water in excess to get this agriculture started back. And
Sugarcane consumption needs a lot of
it takes a lot of water, and the most important thing, it takes 10 months. It's like a baby.
Yeah.
It takes 10 months to grow. So the next generation people are not ready to. They're not ready to wait for the 10 months, right?
The farmers, you're saying?
Farmers, yeah. Older generation, they were very, very passionate about cultivating.
Passionate and patient also.
Correct. Patient also about cultivating sugarcane. Because after rice, sugar plays the most important. It's the most important crop, right?
Correct.
But then the next generation agricultural people are not ready to wait for 10 months because they want something. They are of the belief that, after waiting for 10 months, I'm going to get probably 50,000 to 80,000 per acre. In a year, I'm going to get like probably 3 to 4 lakhs. I can earn better than that.
Something else. Yeah. And doing something.
And it's the I think industrialization coming to picture. You can just build a godown.
Exactly. This Coimbatore was full of sugarcane.
Correct. At one point of time,
full of warehouses, no?
Now full of warehouses.
Building, co-working spaces.
No, it's full of apartments.
Apartments, yeah.
It's full of apartments. The regions that I'm talking about is full of apartments. Yeah. Coimbatore, Jaggery had a great name across the world. Sirvani water gives you a wonderful Jaggery. Noyal River. That water comes from, that flows from across the fields of Noyal. That water, you will not get that taste, you will not get that form anywhere in the world. It was that kind. Right?
Yeah,
we have a place called Karmakade also.
Yeah.
There is
Yes. Yeah.
But that is why we have all these technical
Agri-university.
Everything here.
Everything.
But right now, there's no agriculture happening here. Very less. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not happening. It's very less.
Compared to when it was at the peak, it's declining.
Sugarcane still there here? Around
Very
few.
Very.
I think coconut we can find here, but sugarcane has...
See, coconut is a kind of crop where it can grow anywhere.
Yeah.
You can put coconut
and it's a monthly recurring...
45 days.
Yeah, every 45 days.
It takes time to grow, but then in 45-15 days, we'll start getting the yield.
Right.
Once it grows from in 3-4 years, then you start getting the yield, then it's only profit for you. But sugarcane is 10 months, you have to keep doing that. And it's a lot of maintenance work. You need water, you need,
You'll have snakes coming in.
Yeah. All
snakes are very normal. So after that drought, I felt, it's just there is a need for a change. This kind of business is not going to work out. away.
Not sustainable.
It is not sustainable, and I don't know how long we can run this in this way. So it's time for, even when I left US, I was telling my wife, we have to brand it. We have to go into branding. Sooner or the other, we really have to brand this product.
Yeah,
because it's
do something different than
something different.
what you've been doing.
Something. It's a very good product. People really need it, and it's a very healthy product.
So until then you were supplying as a white label product, or how was it? To all the
clean white label.
White label. So you were consolidating the Jaggery from multiple farmers, and you were supplying to big names?
We fixed the price.
Yeah, okay.
We decided the price for the product in this belt.
Okay, and you were selling it as white label products to the
It goes in gunny bags. It goes in gunny bags in tons and tons.
Okay,
So
that was the...
yeah.
And you had any other products or just Jaggery?
Jaggery.
Just Jaggery, a single SKU.
We had Jaggery, we had turmeric.
But majority was Jaggery.
Jaggery. Turmeric was just,
You were known for Jaggery.
I felt, okay, there is a need for branding now. So I slowly but steadily started thinking on how we can brand this. And we were one of the first brands in India to actually brand this product, Relish. So I came up with this name called Relish. Relish means enjoyment. So I had to, the inference, I came up with this name because I want people to enjoy when tasting this product, right? They really wanted to feel refreshed, something like that,
So 2017 you...
2016, when the business was going down, if the agriculture is not good, our business is not there.
Obviously.
It is not there. So when the agriculture was going down and business was going down, I felt, okay, we have to do something to...
Different.
Yeah, just not different. We had to create a vertical. Right? In addition to what we are doing, we had to create a vertical and do it in a very different way, right? To compare to what people were doing. So we were one of the first brands in India. There were a few that you can count in, but we were the first ones to launch on Amazon. We were the first ones to create a brand for the Jaggery.
This is almost 7 years back, no?
Yes, 2018, March 2nd.
So when you started your own brand, with the background of being in manufacturing, and that is a B2B business, and you have to start something in B2C or D2C. What was the thought process, and what were the initial steps that you took to make yourself a brand in a completely different business segment?
So far you've been trading. Now manufacturing, if you get into it, again, it is its own business.
Because trading is also B2B. When you say you were,
Sort of
selling,
wholesale.
It's wholesale. It's all B2B business, and suddenly you are stepping into B2C or D2C. How did you start your marketing?
Okay, explain the process now. Manufacturing, all that. What was the thought?
When I got the idea of starting a brand, I said, I decided I have to brand this. Okay, there's no point of selling in. I mean, of course, that feeds the brand. A trading business feeds the branding.
But you cannot continue to be a commodity.
Yes, you really have to. You have to. I mean, there is pressure also, right? You come from US, you have to do something.
Yeah.
Right. For that, at least you had to do something, right? So that I decided I am going to brand this. But what product to brand? There's many Jaggery products that you can brand. I mean, there are many Jaggery products that I deal with. Which product to brand? Okay. How to brand it? How to do something different? Right. So what was the issue that we were facing? The most important issue is the moisture. Jaggery is a very high moisture content product. So how do we do something different that extends the shelf life, so without having any moisture? So we came up with some some ideas on how we can remove the moisture. Drying was one idea, right? But drying was very expensive, and we didn't know how things will work out, right? What are the implications that we'll have? We need to buy a dryer, and all these things were there. The simple method was to filter, right? If you see before that, the product that I chose is powder, Jaggery powder, right? Not
Explain how. Explain the process, no?
Yes.
How it is manufactured.
From sugarcane.
So basically, there are two types of sweeteners, right? Natural sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, right? Natural sweeteners is something which is unrefined, right? Sweeteners are something that gives you a feeling of sweet, right? which is basically some kind of sugar, right? Sucrose content. So that you can get that from dates, palm, sugarcane, coconut. These are the four major sources where you get this sweetness from.
Raw materials.
Yes. In these four, the most easily available product is sugarcane. And the most easily accessible product is the product that is made from sugarcane because it is less expensive when compared to the other products, right? Date probably costs around 300 rupees a kg, right? Sugar costs around 40 rupees a kg. Palm jaggery costs around 300 rupees. Coconut sugar costs around 200 rupees, right? So the easiest, people need something, they need sweetness. So sugarcane won that. Sugarcane is the best product to give you that, to fulfill that need.
Cost effective as well as
best thing. In this, there are two types of sugar that we were. In the traditional business, and in the traditional olden days, there was only jaggery, there was not white sugar. Okay, white sugar used to be expensive than jaggery. People, every nook and corner, they themselves manufacture jaggery. They themselves manufacture jaggery powder, jaggery cubes, whatever they form that they want to. For example, even one of their one of the guests in your podcast, Mr. Badri Kota, he said in 1900s.
They started with
jaggery, right? That is how jaggery was a household in every. But then it is not attractive. It's not colorful. It had its own issues like moisture, and it is not.
Had its own complexities.
That is when they came up with this called as processed sugar, refined sugar. Refined sugar is something where it goes through a lot of chemicals. The process remains the same, right? Both comes from sugarcane, the natural sweetener as well as the refined sugar. Both comes from sugarcane. Sugarcane is crushed. The juice is taken out, and then the juice is processed. With using molasses, the molasses still remains in the product. In jaggery, it is boiled to a high temperature, and then it is cooled down to make it into different forms. So you can. But the sugar, the same sugarcane is crushed, but it goes through a lot of refinement process using chemicals. Bleaching,
What sort of chemicals do they use in processed sugar?
Sodium hydrosulfide is one. They use sulfide is one to get that color. They use some kind of a bleaching agent to get that white color. See, white sugar and brown sugar are almost same. It goes through same process. Okay. Without bleaching, it's white sugar. Without bleaching, it's brown sugar.
Without the chemical treatment, it is
brown sugar.
Brown. Is the chemical processing of white sugar being done to extend the life, or why is that difference? Why can't we just use the normal
jaggery? When the sugarcane juice goes through this process, the moisture completely goes out.
Okay.
That in turn definitely extends the shelf life, right?
Okay.
And then it gives you very different feel where it is much more aesthetically appealing.
And that is also a reason, or
yes, definitely. People were not ready. Right now, the awareness is different. But then I'm telling you how the sugar
it evolved.
There were some applications where jaggery was not helpful, right? Right now we see all these sweets made using jaggery.
They are of different color.
This evolved mainly because of the applications that it helped in bringing out. Especially if you see sweets, we still use white sugar.
Correct,
right?
Yeah.
90%. Sometimes the taste is not appealing to everybody if you make it using jaggery.
Because they're so habituated to white.
And with the large volumes of sugar being produced, the prices were very less when compared to jaggery, right? Even now, the jaggery is 50 rupees, the sugar is 40 rupees, right? There's a huge difference of 10 rupees per kg.
Correct.
Right? And that makes a huge difference in applications, right? If you're doing something in bulk, right? It fulfills the purpose. It doesn't go bad because of the chemical processing that it goes through.
It looks like it has a lot of advantages, but in reality,
it's really a poison.
It's a poison. Yeah. Now the awareness is there, as you said.
Much more.
Now the awareness is there.
Especially after COVID. People are
becoming health conscious. Yeah.
They everywhere you see they're very focused on going for very natural foods and not refined food products. Especially there's good demand for palm products, even though it's very expensive. People are really looking forward to buy it.
They're moving towards health.
Much more.
Palm sugar.
Yes. Palm sugar, it's very expensive, but still people are ready to buy it. There's a good shift.
Let's say barring the chemical part in the white sugar, if you look at the glycemic index, how different is it with brown sugar and white sugar?
I'm saying brown sugar and white sugar are almost same.
Okay.
Right? Jaggery is different.
In that case, can you just give me even more clarity? From sugarcane we get jaggery. After removing the juice and the moisture,
yes,
you get jaggery. And from jaggery, you process it to either make it brown sugar or white sugar.
See, these two are totally different process.
Where it's different.
So, can you throw some light?
For both the sugars, sugarcane is used.
Right.
Okay. For both the process, sugarcane is crushed, sugarcane juice is used. Okay. But then this one does not go through any refinement process. Jaggery.
Okay.
Okay. It is very natural. It is boiled and it is cooled down. So you 1 teaspoon of jaggery powder that you consume, it is almost equal to having a small slice of sugarcane.
Okay.
Because it's you're refining, you're just boiling the juice, taking
from the source.
Straight from the source.
Just another form.
Yeah. You're taking the water out, you're making it a solid paste, and then you're cooling down, and then you make it into various shapes that you want. Right? But the same sugarcane is used, and it goes through a different refinement process, where a lot of chemical process takes place. So that's a totally different topic that we can talk upon. But this does not have any refinement. This goes through a lot of refinement.
Okay.
When you talk about the sucrose content, both are almost the same. Right? But then the glycemic index of sugarcane jaggery is much higher. It's 84 on an average when compared to the white sugar. Right? It's almost 74.
Okay.
Right? For audience who are thinking, what is glycemic index? Glycemic index determines the amount of insulin your body takes in. Right? So if you're
diabetic,
your glycemic index, you must take foods that have low glycemic index. And in these 4 products that I mentioned, palm products is the lowest glycemic index. Okay. For diabetic patients, palm products the best product that you can use, and even you can use palm sugar as an alternative. You can use that in moderate quantities for your beverages and for your sweets and still have it. But people don't take it because it's a little expensive.
What do you call it in Tamil? Just
Panachakra. Panakarupati. Panachakra. Yeah. It is basically for sugarcane, we say it is cane jaggery powder.
Right.
It is palm jaggery, coconut jaggery, date jaggery.
Right.
So these are the 4 different products that basically comes through. So we have all these products in our Relish brand, but our signature product that I started off is with jaggery powder, because I wanted something on a healthy note as well, where we know that in US we had these artificial sweeteners, right? Stevia. They are artificial sweeteners, where it does not add any benefits. It's just sucrose.
Yeah.
Right? But then
you'll feel the sweetness, that's all.
Sweetener. That's all. But then I wanted to do something which is really an alternative to white sugar, where people can use all their beverages and all their applications. So instead of just focusing on other products, like here in Tamil Nadu, there are 3 varieties that are much more predominant. One is cube jaggery, which we call as achvellam. The next one is ball jaggery, which we call as mandavellam, urandavellam. And then we call it as jaggery powder, which we call as natu chakri or karam chakri. Okay. The first product that I thought the safest option to start off is with jaggery powder. But then it had its own set of applications, because it can absorb moisture very easily. Any jaggery product for that matter, it can absorb moisture very easily. So if you brand it, right, you need a product that has extended shelf life, which does not go bad. If the moisture comes, it's not that it's bad. Okay, it's just that it's a little difficult to consume, right? It does not look appealing, so people won't take it, right? You need anything. which is healthy, but also it is good looking as well.
It should feel dry.
It should feel dry. Any other. That is the alternative of white sugar, because white sugar is dry. So what we did was we created a technique called triple filtration, right? Before that, there was no filtration method. It was the sugarcane juice. After it's cooled down, it is made into powder through logging process. It is made. The juice is made into powder. That's all. And
Did you, when you started the branding, manufacturing itself, you automated most of the things, or how did that journey?
No. In the initial stages, till I got a hold of what the product is.
Okay.
We outsourced, right?
Everything.
We outsourced under controlled conditions that was set by us. Okay?
QC you maintain?
Exactly. The product is given by the. Let me make it clear: we don't own sugarcane.
Right.
Okay. We make Jaggery.
Right. Got
Because
it.
if we have to make Jaggery on our own, the sugarcane that we'll have in our
Raw material is huge.
you need lots and lots of quantities of sugarcane to make Jaggery in the continuous. So we have a network of farmers who actually cultivate sugarcane. So we buy it from them and we convert it into Jaggery. So simple, right?
So you were telling triple filtration.
Triple filtration method, right? So triple filtration method, what happens is, if you see it in any Jaggery powder, right, there are small particles will be there, right, like clumps. I call it as lumps. Right? We found out that those lumps actually contributes to the moisture, right, with time. So with the removal of lumps, we felt that the product really has a very, we tested it as well. The moisture content has gone down after filtration when we remove the lumps. Okay, lumps is still consumable. It's very edible. Okay, we just there. It's there because when you make it into powder, that will happen. That will come automatically, right? So removal of that lumps reduces the moisture in a drastic way. It reduces by almost 20% to 30%. So what we did was we during production we had one filtration. After production we had one filtration. Before packing we had one filtration. That removed even the smallest bit of lump in the product. Okay, that really gave us a feeling of which is very similar to white sugar, right?
Okay,
and
a dry feel.
Which is very dry. It dissolves very easily, and it does not affect any taste or any quality for that matter. So once we branded that, once we put that in a cover, we tested for like 6 months. It still remained the same. Nothing happened. There was no clogging. There was no moisture formation. So once we
sort of pioneered that process.
Yes.
But what was the wastage due to the lumps filtration?
For 30 kgs, we got like 4 kgs.
1/10.
1/10, yeah.
Okay. So you had to increase your price for to compensate for that?
Yes. Because we had to take that as well into consideration, right?
So and that can be reused, or?
We can reuse it, or we can, what we do is we collect it and we give it to sweet manufacturers, because it's the same product that it's the same as powder, but it is a little, it's the outcome of it. So we give it at a little marginal prices so that we can still use it. So we give it to all these sweet companies where they can use it for their sweet purposes, where they use Jaggery powder. They can still use it. So that was people now copied it, but then we were the first ones to give that product, and we had very good reception. And one of the first applications we were successful was in coffee shops, because the consistency that we got was amazing. Customers were very happy. If you buy coffee from any leading coffee shops in Coimbatore, where most of the coffee shops use our brand.
This region, I think you are very famous.
Yes, right? You will not have any of the lumps, so even the smallest lumps that you will see. Right? So that is how we branded our first product, and we focused on one product at the time, just one product. Let's get this, proper focus on this, because we know that there's a market for this. Just focusing on one product will be enough on the table for that, So slowly but steadily we started adding more products. And in 2021, after COVID, during COVID itself, we started, contract manufacturing. our product, right?
Okay.
Till then, it was kind of outsourcing with our control.
QC control, yeah.
But then we said, okay, now we have to go to the next level. We had to increase our production. So in order to increase our production, we need to do something where everything is at our control, except the purchase of sugarcane, where our people are also involved in that. So right now we have a very good tie-up with the manufacturer in Salem. And we take all the products, all the Jaggery that's
So you are in all the marketplaces.
Yes, we are in 2018. We launched in Amazon. I thought it was like a normal B2B.
Yeah. Just post.
Yeah, just post. My concept was selling at the lowest price. Okay. Why? I thought, okay, if you sell it at the lowest price, people will buy. Simple concept. When other products were priced at more than 100, I priced at 80. But then months went, days went. I was like, why am I not getting any revenue from Amazon? And then I went to the payment section and the accounts page. I understood, okay, I'm running in loss. Literally loss. Okay. Then I understood, okay, this is a all new dimension to selling in Amazon. There are lots of other
facets you have to consider.
So many things that I have to learn. So I literally studied for almost 3 days, created a big sheet. I still use that sheet for any product for that matter. I created a template. You put the numbers in, it'll tell you whether you're
profitable or not.
I created my own sheet, and that is how I launched it. But the good thing is, even though I went in loss, it's like, promotion that I did for my own product. It went to multiple hands because I was the cheapest on Amazon, right? Mm-hmm. It went to multiple hands. People just bought in. Everybody bought it, and that gave me a very good customer base.
It gives you a national reach also.
It gives me a national reach.
I mean, this might be out of context. Did you put it as a general listing, or was it a general listing that anyone can buy from you and sell it?
No. Only I had the control.
Okay.
Only I had the control.
But how did it reach there when you were in loss? If you can be more elaborate, because you were cheaper, people started buying.
I sold multiple. I sold in very good quantities. That
you were moving a lot of quantities.
Yeah, I sold in lot of quantities.
Although your
loss was managing there.
Although you are not profitable, brand was reaching.
Yeah, brand was reaching. I mean, to your question, the loss was manageable. Right? Okay. I was facing loss, but
right.
The whatever little margin that I was making, it was managing because
just
of the volume.
Scraping by. Yeah, it was just.
But then it went pan India.
It went pan India. And I got distributors from Calcutta, Pune, Bombay, Delhi.
Approaching you.
Yeah. And I still have home bakers buying across the country. I have bakery companies in Delhi. I have distributors in Kolkata. All the South Indian shops started buying from us. We ship to Andaman.
Oh, nice.
There's one customer, he ships it in bulk. And in Tamil Nadu, we have a network of super stockists and distributors, which we have just recently launched. But then we have started our presence in Chennai, Thoothukudi, Tirunelveli, Madurai. In Coimbatore, we already have a very good presence. Almost all the supermarkets, all the shops will have our product. And see, our main customers are application oriented. Like I said, coffee shops.
It's more of a B2B sort of.
Yeah, it's more of a B2B. We are just getting into the B2C. Very, we're starting our e-commerce.
Dipping your toes into.
Yes. But then we had enough to fulfill the B2B business. But then I understand that, the trend is go to the B2C.
Eventually.
You really have to be.
Volumes are there.
You have to be in your e-commerce space. To be playing in the next few years, you have to be in the e-commerce space. So we're working on that, and we are giving our products to for government in Kerala, not directly, but through agents.
Yeah. You've added SKUs?
I have like 19 SKUs now. Yeah, in Relish.
You started with powder.
One product. We started with 500 grams of Relish Jaggery powder. We have 1 kg and all the Jaggery products.
You added palm Jaggery and
yes, everything, palm candy, palm Jaggery, herbal Jaggery, multiple products. Yeah. So It's going good. I mean, so we want to expand it across India. I mean, first across Tamil Nadu. Recently, once we have launched the many brands that are starting to come up, people ask me who's your competitor. I say myself, because I myself, in addition to what we pack for our brand, I pack for a few other brands.
You co-pack for
I white label. I literally pack and give them. We just recently shipped a small consignment to Gujarat in their own brand. Because we get new customers because they say we want product like Relish.
So that's what you have a manufacturing business also. At the same time, you're branding for yourself.
Yes, but to feed this brand, I need the trading to run.
Correct. Yeah.
Trading actually feeds it. Even though they both are different businesses, I need the trading business to run properly so that the funding is taken care by that.
Let's come to some general questions. How do you manage your team? Because I think many of them are quite old, right? They're set in their ways. How do you?
It was the most difficult task even now.
I remember you once told me that your current employee once dropped you at school.
Yes.
How do you manage?
He's still there.
Okay.
It's a very
how do you get work done?
In the beginning, you have to go in their way. You, instead of commanding them, you have to understand them how they are working, because they worked in a very different environment than what we are thinking.
Different era,
totally. See, basically, even though they wanted me to join, but then it was very difficult for them to see me as their boss, because I've played with them. They have taken me to school. They still consider me as a small boy.
Correct.
When I joined, right? But then to instill that belief, that I'm your boss, right? You have to listen to what I say. It took some time for them and for myself, and I had to be patient, isn't it? Because I need someone to, help me in the business, and they were the ones who were supporting me in my business, and I don't want to lose them. I still didn't lose them. We have added only employees, but then the old employee set is still there, right? So managing the team, it is very difficult in the beginning.
Beyond a point, it becomes a responsibility also, no, for you to take care of them.
Kind of.
Just because they've been so loyal, it becomes a duty.
Kind of. I'll tell you one thing. One of the person who dropped me in school, right? We were literally finding a way to get something done for him, now give some work for him, because I've implemented systems, right, where the work is reducing. So
that role is getting redundant,
right?
Did they have a panic when you did that? I'm sorry, you can complete the answer and then answer my question.
There was always a panic since I joined for them.
Okay. Change is always uncomfortable.
Yeah, because they treated like my fathers. They treated them like family.
Correct.
Right. I still treat them like family, but then to accept me as a family member, it took some time.
You might treat them, but they
were still very reluctant, right? As I told you, I was still a small boy for them, right? But then to break that hurdle, to make them understand, okay, this is what we need, this is what you need, I need from you. So I recently had a conversation where that same person, he was saying, we were doing this differently. I said that era is over. Don't even bring that topic again. They both are gone. Now this is the style that I want to run the company. So please support me. Okay, I don't want to be rude with you, but please support with what I'm doing, right? So a year back, he came and told me, he's almost 60. He came and told me, I've spent almost 30 to 35 years of your age in this company. Now I cannot go and find a job elsewhere. I know I don't have work or role that I need to fulfill. But just a few more years, 2, 3, whatever years, just let me be with you, okay? To live for the survival of the family. I said, I never told you to go. I said, I'll find you something to work on.
But that fear is
with
there.
water. That fear was there with everybody. But then now they have come to a conclusion that, this he most of them tell me they enjoy working under me. Right? They enjoy the leadership style. They enjoy how I give the freedom. I take them out. I take them for dinner. I take them, for a small trip. I reward them, right? Whenever I feel, I reward them. That was not there in their era.
Correct.
So they feel they're being recognized, right? So when we got an award in 2020, Relish won the Best Jaggery Award in Tamil Nadu in 2020 from Economic Times, right? That's one of the biggest achievements. That happened during COVID, right? But then the award came through courier, right? When we got the award, I didn't take it. I asked the senior most people in the company to come and take the award first, right? Because it is because of their hard work we are here. I am just driving the company because it is because of their hard work, their dedication that they have put in, we have reached here, right? So that recognition, that moral support, that emotional support. Once one of the senior staffs got really ill, so I took care of the medical expense, telling them, "Don't worry, I'm there." That was not there even when my fathers were there. I mean, so they're very, very comfortable. And
you cannot measure everything by ROI,
Well, had it not been for the loyalty that they gave you when your father passed away and
when they stood with you,
I think this wouldn't have been possible.
Not at all. Not at all.
I think deep down you also have a gratitude towards them.
Definitely. Even in one of the meetings that in one of the network organizations that I'm part of, when we had an employee contribution, employee recognition in the meeting, I took them both and I gave them a small medal.
That must have been a big thing.
They didn't tell me on the face, but they went and told their family members, and the family members told me, that how happy they were, right? How recognized they felt. Even though it was a very small thing, just a small medal, I put that. But then that feels like, they've done something. And even in this age, they still run. They do whatever is the best for the company. They advise me, they guide me some. They tell me, no, this is not the way you should be doing. I ask them every decision for that matter. I ask them. Even if I'm buying a small vehicle, I ask them if it's okay. I'm doing this to avoid the expenses that we are giving to outsourcing. Maybe one vehicle will help us avoid this. So for every
word of advice.
Yeah, I think you need that, especially if you don't have anybody to lean upon. You really need to trust somebody. Okay? And especially when we were growing, I really didn't have time to manage everything, right? And I really trusted somebody in the organization, saying, "Okay, you are the one to take responsibility of that. You have to take care of the office admin issues, HR issues, salary issues. You have to take that responsibility and grow along with the company, right?" In those days, it was not the case. It was just redundant work. Come, go, go for collection, go meet there, go load the lorries. It was that. Now it's not that kind. Everything is systematic. Thanks to WhatsApp, everything goes through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Everything happens through WhatsApp. I don't even need to give any communication. So,
I also remember you set up a store for a senior most employee, right?
But when he came and told me, 2-3 years, this is what that I have. Okay, just help me with. Let me be with you. He didn't say help me. Let me be with you for a few more years. I said, okay, let's do retail. Okay,
let's try retail.
Yeah, let's try retail. We are in the wholesale business. We are in the Pakka Wholesale Bazaar of Coimbatore. Let's try and open a retail shop with the Relish branding. Let's open a store which promotes Relish as well as a retail business. In that way, it's a hybrid model where you focus on wholesale business and you focus on retail business, right? So I said, I opened a store for him and I made him sit there and
you
told him that you take care. I'm not going to come here. I want the reports. Every day, the reports must come to my table. You tell me how much you have sold. That is what I need. The stock quantity, that's what. I am not going to come to you. I am not going to, if at all I'll come, sit, relax, maybe have a coffee. That is what I'm going to do. But
I'm
you
not
are
going to question.
You are going to take care of it. But then we just recently closed it because we were not running into good profits. But yeah, that is also an experience, right?
Right.
What allowed us was we captured that complete entire market, right? For a radius of 15 kilometers. We are still supplying the bulk there. It's just that we don't have that store. So what we did to cater those customers, we bought a EV vehicle, let it go and supply. So that helps me avoid the rental expenses, and the other it helps me reduce probably 25,000 to 30,000 per month. What I said, let's put that in a meaningful way in buying an EV vehicle, and let's pay the due for that amount. It's very simple.
We so far discussed about the business side of things, the employee side of things, your journey. Now I want to understand the supply chain side of things. Okay, how do you manage farmers? How does the farmer ecosystem work? What and all things that only food supply chain is food supply chain. You're basically in the food supply chain, farming. It could be dairy, it could be anything. What and all challenges do you face? What things that a normal person who sees a finished Jaggery product doesn't see?
Any organization in any type of business to be there for almost 40 years is not easy, right? It takes a lot of support, just not from your own company staffs, but also managing the supply chain and the customer relationship is very, very crucial for running a company for almost 40 years. In that way, as I said, our strength is our big network of farmers, right? They trust us. The trust they have given us is enormous. That we have that it comes to a point whatever we do is right for them, right? They even take decisions, even in their own personal decisions. They involve us, right? It is that amount of relationship that we have. But the current generation probably is almost reaching. The farmer generation is almost reaching their end stages of life, probably 60, 65, right? They are with my dad's group, right? The next generation is they're very reluctant to come and take this up, right? Because of the complexities of this agricultural field itself. It does not give you the luxuries that you get in other jobs, basically.
Correct.
It takes some time. You take some time to make the amount of money that you make in other fields, probably in ITs or something, right? It's a very slow process, but it's a consistent field, right? But people don't realize it, and I am seeing a huge decline of people taking up agriculture to the next generation, especially in Tamil Nadu, where I don't know if once the first generation goes, I'm not sure how many.
What will happen?
Will take up the second generation. I know there is a lot of startups that's coming up, supporting, taking food from farm to table and something like that. But then I don't know how much it will feed a country like us, right?
Feed the entire agricultural ecosystem, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you need a lot of people getting into agriculture. Even though I'm part of the business, I'm doing agriculture in whatever way that I can, in whatever space I can, right? The first generation people who the farmers that I work with have acquired a lot of acreage of land. But then once, if it's not maintained properly, that land is nowhere to waste. What happened in Coimbatore will happen across our own Tamil Nadu, right? And I'm seeing that. Some of the reasons is because climate change is very, very, very crucial factor in that, because we're not getting the regular monsoon rains that we are supposed to have. For example, the rains that we saw recently. Last year we didn't have rains.
No rains at all.
This year we are having excessive rains. The similar way happened in 2016, 17, there was no rains. And 2018 there was floods.
Yeah.
Right? 2019 there was again excessive rains. So the climate change is not supporting what is needed for the agriculture as well. In that way, farmers go through a loss which deters them from the next generation from entering into this industry. But the need of the hour is to have at least the people who are doing agriculture to continue what they're doing. Even if new people are not coming, at least what people have right now should continue. And governments must take some initiatives to ensure that, sustainable farming is maintained. Practicing organic farming is not a very simple task, because I'm not sure how much,
I think majority of the organic, so-called organic, is not organic.
It's not organic at all.
Just branded as organic, but not. Organic is something completely different.
Completely different. But you can. It's not like you cannot. But I don't know how much, how much contribution, how much people it will support you, right? Yeah. Maybe you can practice organic farming for 10 acres that you own, probably 20 acres. But how much will that feed your society, the country, right? So it should start from the scratch, on all these, adapting all these sustainable agricultural practices, like, minimizing the carbon footprint, reducing the use of artificial fertilizers in whatever way that you can, right? In that way, all these things will help us control the climate change as well a bit in our capacity to what we can. So this is the most important aspect of, this is a need of the hour right now, right? We might have, we can have iPhone 15, but we will not have rice. It might come to a point that way, right? In our field in Jaggery, we are facing a huge shortage of sugarcane, right? Day by day, the acreage of sugarcane is reducing, right? And 6 months a year, we are dependent on Mandia for sugarcane and for Jaggery products. People migrate from here to there to make Jaggery to support their living, because there are families who don't know anything other than making Jaggery, right?
So they are forced to migrate.
Yeah. They settle there. They are there for 6 months a year over there in Karnataka, and 6 months a year in Tamil Nadu. Once the crop, season is over, they come here. There might be some situation where we'll have to go to Maharashtra and other places to source our products. So I think people must give importance to agricultural engineering, all these new technology in agriculture. If I had gotten a chance, if I knew that this is what I'm going to do, I would have definitely taken something. Pursued something with agriculture. But I had different aspirations and plans. But this is the need of the hour, right? We need people, youngsters, to take this up, in whatever capacity they can, whatever crops they want to, whatever food they want to grow. And government should support the farmers with the best minimum support price and all these things that the farmers need. If I think the reason for our success is because we give the farmers what they need, right? Sometimes if they feel their margin is less than what is supposed to be, we somehow compensate that with be giving a better margin than the market condition. It's not that we cannot give 50% more than what market needs, but at least something 5-10% more that we can support them. That's one of the reasons why Relish is a little expensive than other products in the market, right? So we give a better pricing to the farmers to ensure that they cultivate.
They also have something.
If they don't get anything out of it, what is the point of doing it, right? So that is one thing I really wanted to put out in this podcast.
On the topic of youngsters getting into agri or these sort of food processing, there is fairly a decent buzz across the country that food tech is a big field and something has to be done here. What and all advice or guidance would you like?
Especially after COVID.
Do you feel the food tech buzz is big enough, or it is still...
No. See, a lot of new restaurants have come up.
Okay, it's all there on the internet, you mean?
That doesn't mean that, your grassroots are becoming stronger, right? People think, especially after COVID, food is the best industry to work with. Food has its own complications. Food industry has its own difficulties and complexities. But after COVID, during COVID, we were the only industry that was working, right? We were the only shops that was open. So people had a notion that, okay, food is the best industry to get in. That's not the case. Outside, it's very easy. I mean, making waffles and momos is different. But deep inside, the agriculture is what you need people to work with. Opening shawarma stores and pani puri stores is not what food industry needs right now. Food industry...
That is just the surface.
Exactly. To get that, we need people to work down under, to join at least. I don't know how many people will be very interested to join, but at least my advice is, my plea is, at least people, their family members should not leave up agriculture.
Correct. Existing.
If the existing people don't leave, that itself is enough. Right? But the trend is the existing people are leaving. They're not ready to take up. Like, I have a farmer who has 60 acres of sugarcane.
Oh.
He tells me, I'm already 63. My son is in Bangalore. He's not ready to come back. I don't know what I'll do with this farm.
There are a lot of cases like this, no?
Lots and lots of. This is one case. Lots and lots of cases
like this.
The only point is, at least even if new people don't enter, at least the people who are doing existing agriculture should not leave this. That itself is enough to support. Just not sugarcane, any agriculture product for that matter. We don't want agricultural lands going into highways and plots and apartments, right? That will be the end of it.
Yeah, because eventually we'll end up in rapidly inflating prices.
Definitely.
With the volumes coming down.
See, when I came in, the price of Jaggery was 30.
Okay.
30, 32. Now it's 50. But today the rate is 50. Which is massive. 18 rupees. I mean, for a normal person, 18 rupees is nothing. But then people who are involved in the business, we know how the inflation is going. And for the next season times, the next period is all season, all festival season, Diwali, Onam. We are expecting the price to shoot up. What happens is, and the white sugar will be cheaper. This one will be very high. People won't buy it, people will buy it cheap.
And it shouldn't be the case that we start importing food from other countries.
No. I was telling you that, right? If sugar is not there, they can import it from probably some other country, but not Jaggery.
Why is it so?
Jaggery is a very regional product.
Okay.
People here might not like Kolhapur Jaggery. People like Tamil Nadu Jaggery. Taste matters.
And we have lost
soil matters.
Coimbatore Jaggery already.
We lost Coimbatore Jaggery already.
It's no more.
Even till 2015, I had farmers who brought their produce and sold it in my place. From Tondamuthur, Vadavalli.
Okay.
There is nothing right now. You can just go around. I go right places around Isha, places around Tondamuthur. Tondamuthur is very famous for sugarcane. Right now, there's nothing. Literally nothing. For Coimbatore market, the bazaar, you don't need supplies from anywhere else. Just the supplies from Coimbatore is enough. It was that case. So, for any product for that matter. But there are many NGOs who are, especially in Coimbatore, who are, taking steps to conserve water, making lakes, like Kovai Kulangal. Something is happening. But then we don't have land. If this was done a few years back, probably agriculture would have continued. But then, even though we have conserved water, but then there is no land to do the agriculture or people to do the agriculture. Yeah. So that's the request I put across. Food is always needed.
Yeah.
Without food, you don't do anything. Right? Yes. Whatever advancement technology you have, at the end of the day, you need food. So, and as you said, let's not let's not go to a condition of importing for products from other countries. Hopefully.
So, thank you for the deep insights, sir. And if you would like to leave any final message to our audience, you can please go ahead and.
I hope my story adds some value to the listeners, and hope you get some insights on the life abroad, as well as how managing a family business is not is not perceived as very easy. So I like to add a quote from Mr. Velumani, founder of Thyrocare. He says, if you do what you have studied, you will survive. But if you do what you have not studied, you will be a leader, right? So this quote inspires me a lot, because I'm doing something that I have not studied. And I hope many people, irrespective of the education, take up entrepreneurship and do a lot of innovations, just not in technological industry, but also in the food industry. And hopefully we have a green earth supporting our farmers and us to have a healthy life by consuming good food. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. CB and Mr. Vicky. Hope I had a really good session and it was very memorable. Thank you. For those of the audience that are listening and watching, I sincerely thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you.
Thank you.